Good evening from London, wrestling fans. I am back in London after, well, a couple of weeks in Swansea, and you are listening to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, your one-stop shop for professional wrestling insight, news, and reviews on a daily basis. And out of the gates, guys, I'm going to apologize today if we do have any tech difficulties, because, well, it's been the 20 minutes from hell when it comes to tech. We need a tech guy. That is for sure. I mean, my laptop basically wouldn't charge. It is now charging, and because it's such a low percentage, I'm probably in 240p. But doesn't matter, because we have a great panel to make up for it. And let's kick things off with the co-host of the show, Clark Taylor. How are you today, Clark?
I'm stoked to be here. Obviously, we're both Chiefs fans, so the LA Chargers, if they could send over some Chargers but no gear, I'd be cool with that to help out Ben on that. Get that laptop charged as quick as we can. If we've got tech issues, though, I'm ready to go. And we do also have, since we're already all on screen, it's no spoilers. But I mean, we got a tech guy right here ready to rock and roll, knows what he's talking about, knows what he's doing. Head of reviewing, man. No, he knows. He knows it all. He can figure it out.
Unfortunately, our tech guy is an Apple hater, but our tech guy is the head of reviews, Coby Galenzoski. How are you, Coby?
Well, apparently, like the last time on the show, we had a bunch of tech issues for WR off the air for night 2 of WrestleMania. That was the last time I was ever on a broadcast.
That's true.
And
as
soon as I return, the tech issues are back. Like, am I a bad omen here? I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Anyway, I'm here. I'm back. I'm ready to talk wrestling. Of course, like we said, we got a stacked panel, and maybe it was spoiled a bit, but who knows? If you know who I am, I'm here, head of reviewing. I'm ready to enjoy Raw tonight. It looks like a banger of a show. Regardless,
absolutely.
Introduce the next man.
No, it absolutely should be a banger of a show over on Raw today. But joining us for a banger of a podcast, we have Josh Markowitz. How are you today, Josh?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be back. This is the first time I've been on the podcast since all the WrestleMania extravaganzas. So it's great to be back. I'm ready to talk. I love Mailbag Monday. I was on it 2 Mondays ago, and I loved it so much I had to get right back on. I'm just ready for a banger of a podcast. We got so many great questions to answer, and Raw's stacked tonight as well. So just a great time to be a wrestling fan, but I'm ready to get into it.
No doubt about it. It is certainly a great time to be a fan of professional wrestling. But Mailbag Monday, we're answering your questions, and let's kick
Who also
it
created
off.
it?
Shout out to Coby for that suggestion.
Wow.
But to be fair, I don't know if you created Mailbag
I was going to toot your horn,
I made it.
and I might not now.
Oh. Well, let's jump straight in.
It's the place to be.
It is at I'm Pratik 8895 is asking, do you think that Logan Paul is overhyped as a wrestler? And this is a fascinating question. It is a great question, and it is a question that I'm going to say absolutely not. This guy has walked into an industry where he has no training in and was like, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it better than most people have done it. This guy, he's picked so much up so quickly, and I don't just mean the in-ring work. I mean on the mic. He's one of the best heels in the company right now. No denying it. He has just raw talent, natural talent, and an annoying amount of talent. I've said that before. I'm going to be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of the guy. I don't like some things he said in the past. Sometimes he annoys me a little bit, but he's great at professional wrestling. He truly, truly is. So is he overhyped? I don't think so. But Clark, I'm going to send it to you first. Is Logan Paul overhyped? Yes or no?
So before I do that, I will give Coby the credit. Night one off the air, he was the one that suggested I go to a hotspot, and guess what? It worked, and then my phone died. So that was on me. My fault when it came to those tech issues. But someone who might be a little overhyped, and please don't get on me for this because it's razor thin here when it comes to Logan Paul for me. He's been so impressive, so good, picked up so much. He's also worked. It takes two to tango with some of the absolute best talent in the industry on the other side from minute one. Ben's point about on the microphone, I agree. Microphone, he doesn't need hardly a minute to develop those skills. He's been sublime. In ring, very good. The Rey Mysterio match, he made a nice save. Or was he out of position? I'm not totally sure. That's a hard one for me to comment on. But as a wrestler, so far, Logan Paul has proven he needs a borderline Hall of Fame, if not Hall of Fame, dance partner to execute. So the answer is, I would say, slightly overhyped until proven differently. That does not mean that he's not an excellent talent. That does not mean that the work he's put in isn't awesome, isn't great. It's been as fun as could be. But I don't see him taking somebody, a greener wrestler, somebody from NXT maybe, and putting on an unbelievable rivalry and bell-to-bell matches right this second because he's still that young. So the phrasing as far as overly hyped, I would say only slightly. As a wrestler, as a talent, absolutely not.
Fair enough. No, I certainly can see that point, and we have a great comment here from I don't know, maybe Jordan, who is saying, I don't think he is overhyped. Logan Paul is a celebrity who is this good in the ring. But I also can see your point, Clark, as well. He has been in the ring with a lot of top guys, but you could say that about everybody in the ring in WWE. And I think every time he's had a chance, he showed that he can do it. And I also think that I've gotten over my tech difficulty. So yay.
Go.
Let's hope it doesn't break now. Hopefully I've not jinxed it. But Coby, I'd love to get your thoughts on this one. Is Logan Paul overhyped?
I think we're in a bit of a scenario that is incredibly interesting because we're looking at someone like previously said, like previously talked about. He's coming into an industry where he has no talent. He's gone on record to go, I could not do the independents. He's gone on record to say he cherishes the opportunity he's been given to come right into WWE, work with the best. He's training with Shawn Michaels, one of the greatest of all times, if not the greatest of all time. And I'm looking at Logan Paul as someone who is very quickly understanding what he needs to do, how to get heat, and all the things we can say about it. Not to mention how he came into WWE and they were shoehorning him as a face. And once he understood what wrestling is, what he would want to do, what he should want to do, he understood like that he was going to be a better heel, that he knew that was the direction to take, and he went down it, he got it, he learned it. Can we discredit it? Can we say overhyping discredits what he's done? No. He has 100% put in the work, and we are, even a year ago, if we said Logan Paul would ever consider this full-time, well, he is now. Like, I don't want to say we should be thankful Logan Paul's full-time now, bowing the head or bowing the arms of the sense. No, he's enjoyable. I'm glad he respects this business, respects this sport, entertainment, however you want to view it. I think there is a slight amount of people who will go, oh, Logan Paul does this better. Like there are the people who will overhype him. There are the people who will go, oh, he's got a better buckshot lariat than Mr. Hangman Adam Page. Or, oh, Logan Paul's better than 90% of the world of the talent in AEW. There are people who say that, and that's where there is the overhyping.
Yeah.
But for the people who can sit here and talk about the work he's put in to get to the point he's at now, I don't think that's overhyping Logan Paul. The overhyping is when that hyperbole exists, and it does exist. Hello, IWC, I see you.
I mean, no, that is a great point, Coby, because he doesn't have as good of a buckshot lariat as Hangman Page. There's no doubt about it. Hangman Page hits it almost better than anybody else in the industry. The only one who hits a better one is CM Punk, of course. But we do have a comment here from David Marge saying Logan Paul is slightly overhyped, but he's awesome. Still with Melissa in the chat. Shout out, Melissa. And we have PCXMOK saying he's not overhyped. And we got, I don't know, maybe Jordan saying also ISO Speed died at WrestleMania, which is the funniest thing on the planet. So Logan Paul is the greatest of all time. I mean,
did he die? He must have been resurrected because he's live streaming WWE 2K24 and letting Randy Orton beat him in the game as well.
Got him.
Is he letting Randy Orton beat him, or is he just that bad at the game?
He's that bad at the game.
I assume it's that bad at the game as well.
Oh gosh. Right, Josh, I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Is Mr. Logan Paul overhyped or not? Of course, you saw him live at WrestleMania. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I think everyone so far definitely understands the point that the speed in which he's picked up this sport is incredible. I'm someone I've been training in professional wrestling at the world famous Monster Factory for 5-6 months now. It is really, really hard. This is a very, very hard thing that these guys and girls are going out there doing every week. And the speed in which Logan Paul has picked up this sport, it is insane. And all my flowers go to him for picking it up this fast. Now, I think, look, has he got the top treatment, personal training with Shawn Michaels and other veterans? How many people are getting that? Not many. But I don't think that's what we're looking at here. I think that's not what's in question. I think it's more about his commitment to the treatment he's got and his investment and respect to the business. And I think that's what's important. I think he's incredible on the microphone. It's so easy to hate him. Everybody just wants to punch him in the face. And that's why he's really good. I think when he figured out his, who he was, it didn't take him long because that's who he really is, kind of like in real life. Because people don't like the Paul brothers. People don't like Logan. So he said, I'm just going to be myself out there. And everyone hates him. And he's really, really good at that. And, you could even look at him as a top talent in WWE, not, because you look at his resume, he's had 12 matches. He's been put to the test. I mean, like, just looking at the names, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Seth Rollins. Those are some of just the all-time greats. And not even just one-on-one matches, triple threat matches, elimination chamber matches, money in the bank matches. Those are matches that, it takes many wrestlers years to develop and learn how to build and learn how to wrestle in them. And he has just done it in such a fast time, and it's incredible. So I really don't feel like he's overhyped. I think without a doubt, no way he's overhyped. I'm really strong in this opinion. And I feel like maybe even I'm overhyping the way I'm saying it, but it really is how I feel. And I really think he goes out there. He's the top tier heel. And he's created more big moments that go viral online in 2 years as some of WWE's greatest superstars have. And that's what's important. End of the day, does he draw headlines? Yes. Does he create moments? Yes. And that's all that matters. So I think it's great for WWE, like Coby said. I'm so happy he's in wrestling. I'm so happy he is respecting the business and also taking it seriously and committing to it full time, because I'm very thankful he's here. That's kind of my rant.
Absolutely. I mean, I do agree with you on a lot of that. I really, really do. I mean, the way that you started it off about, Logan Paul being disliked and stuff, it just got me thinking. I feel bad for him almost. Because everyone always says to you, just be yourself. It'll be fine. He's himself and everyone hates him. It's so tragic. But
it's not as bad as Jake Paul. That's the good thing. I think everyone hates Jake Paul.
Close to Jake.
So I think he thinks he's likable in terms of him versus Jake.
It's not even close.
Yeah, not close.
Even that Theo Von clip is golden, where he was like, I think Jake's going to die first. And then Jake came back and was like, that scares me to death. And you're like, it's the most likable thing Jake Paul's ever said. And you're still just like, but I like Logan better. Like, if I had to pick.
Oh gosh, we have Melissa in the chat. Shout out to Melissa. Oh, don't tell me my laptop's gone slow again. Anyway, let's just carry on with it. I mean, listen, my laptop's clearly turning on me, but that's not the question we're talking about, because we want to know if Solo Sikoa is turning on Roman, because at Umaga_wrestler is asking, so clearly a fan account there is asking, is Solo turning on Roman along with Tama Tonga? Well, of course, this comes after this week on SmackDown, where Tama Tonga debuted alongside Solo Sikoa to kick out Jimmy Uso from the Bloodline. It was shocking. It was unexpected. It was a great moment. And Tama Tonga said it was by orders of the Tribal Chief. Now, the question is, was the Tribal Chief he was talking about Roman Reigns? Was it Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Or was it Solo Sikoa? I don't know, but regardless, I think we're having a turn here. What are your thoughts, Clark?
Not just yet. Not just yet. I think we're going to get to SummerSlam, and we'll have the Bloodline sort of united with those two, Heyman being the skeptic, Roman and Rock, and that juxtaposition will happen as we get to see, hopefully, Rock versus Cody. And when we get there is when the potential turn happens. That's when Solo and Tama might turn on Roman and maybe side with The Rock, and you have Roman and Heyman getting cheered for the first time in a long time. That might add up to me. That makes a lot of sense in my head. Or you go the other way. They turn on Rock and side with Roman, but kick Heyman out. And then Rock inserts himself somewhere else, or Heyman, Rock maybe is babyface in that scenario, and is the final boss twice, even despite losing to Cody, maybe robbed by Roman, Solo, and Tama. That would be, I think it's one of those two scenarios. Way too soon to play this turnout on TV. Maybe give little hints of Solo and Tama not necessarily listening to Roman, definitely not listening to the wise man. Heyman over the next 6 weeks, to me, is going to be the most telling part of this storyline. And I'll be able to figure out whether it's Roman's turning babyface to set up for Roman and Rock, or Rock's turning babyface to set up for Roman and Rock. But Paul Heyman is going to be the key to me. He's the key piece of this whole story. Which side he ends up on, because he was mind blown by the Tama Tonga part. He was mind blown by Solo taking the microphone and all of that. I think if we can even bring back Jay and Jimmy somehow into the whole equation with the Bloodline, as great as Jay's success has been post Mania and at Mania and all of that, this Bloodline story could end up being I don't want to say the replacement story for Cody finishing the story, but the most intriguing thing once again, like in a resurgent way without the title. And that's something I'm really interested in seeing, because I want all of those family ties and things to play out. And Cody will play a role in that for sure. Cause I think almost for sure it's gotta be Rock Cody at SummerSlam. If we can get it.
He can't compete until 2025, Rock. He's got movies scheduled pretty much all the time until then.
So we're looking at maybe
Rumble.
Spring, maybe Rumble, either or. It's just, something like that. Stretch this out for a little bit, and because I want to see Heyman work next to Solo and Tama uncomfortably. That's something that I just think would be the way his facial expressions were, the fear in his eyes of not sort of having a semblance of control, despite bowing to every demand, every word of Roman Reigns. As far as the rest of the Bloodline, they kind of had to listen to Paul most of the time because Roman made them,
That's
and
true.
With Roman absent, Paul on TV, that work to me will be just comedic and outstanding for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, Geordie said a great point on Sunday, which is what I think is going to happen. I think we're gonna have Jimmy versus Solo in the not near future, not at Backlash, but maybe the pay-per-view after Backlash, maybe in Saudi Arabia, maybe even in the King of the Ring tournament. And from there, then we have maybe Jimmy brings in some other members of the bloodline from elsewhere or something, if anybody's, free. Because let's face it, the family is huge. We know that. And if he's able to do that, well, then suddenly, things get interesting. But what if, even, like this was what Jordy said, what if actually it's Jay who helps Jimmy then in the end? And then we have Jay and Jimmy versus Solo and Tamatong at SummerSlam. That's when the others debut and
I'm all
help
over that.
Solo win. Sorry, that's when he said the others would debut. And then so
Hikalea.
suddenly Solo's, yeah, I mean, whoever in the family. I mean, their family is gigantic. You have Lance and Noah, you have Jacob Fatu, you have I forgot the other
Bad luck,
Zilla Fatu.
I was gonna say bad luck, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the family is real. Like it.
The depth is absurd.
Yeah, it really, really is. It's crazy how big of a family. Like we say, there's more than one Raw family in professional wrestling. That's Cody Rhodes. I think the family in professional wrestling might just be Roman Reigns's. But let's be real about it. That would be an insane storyline. And then at that point, Roman Reigns can come in after doing the Seth stuff or whatever, and then he can be with the Usos. He can then be faced that way, and then they have a big faction to try and take down maybe the Rock sides with Roman initially, and then turns on Roman. There's so many possibilities, and it is so fun to speculate on it. It truly is. We have Pierce Kiernan in the chat. Here, shout out Pierce. He's saying, "How are we? I'm great. My internet is not. I'm once again lagging like crazy, but." Something else which I'm very excited about is Next Level. We've got so sorry guys. This is killing me, this connection. But basically what is not killing me is Next Level. Guys, let's be real about it. There's so many social media platforms nowadays. It's hard to find everyone's links. Well, all our links are in one great place, and that place is Next Level. Just go to nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic to see all our content across all platforms linked in one place. But that's not all. If you click the link, there's also exclusive content. Plus, just in case for some weird reason that's not enough, well, there's also a giveaway. And that giveaway right now is the WWE 2K24 WrestleMania edition. 40 years of WrestleMania. They're giving away 2 copies. And all you need to do is hit that link, scroll to the bottom, and enter the giveaway. There'll be an option how to enter it. I think it's closing very soon, so make sure you guys do enter it. But yeah, I mean, it's completely free to enter as well. All our links in one place. Once again, nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic to see all our content across all platforms, all in one place. But now let's move on, because Josh, I'm going to need to get you in here, because I want to talk to you about how long do you think Cody Rhodes is going to hang on to the title for? And this question is being sent in by Cody Finished History. Well, I mean, I don't think Cody finished history at all. But great question. How long will he hold the title for, Josh?
Yeah, this is a loaded question. It could really go any way, but here's how I really dissected it. So Cody's story lasted 2 years. It took him that long to reach the top of WWE without including any of his prior WWE run and climb that mountain. So how long until he, not drops off that mountain, but drops the belt off? I think wrestling fans are so used to these really long reigns because we just had Roman hold the belt for like 3 years and 8 months. How Cody's not going to hold the belt for anywhere near that long, but I do think he will definitely be bringing that belt to next year's WrestleMania. And I'm not huge on the idea of people holding belts for a really, really long time, but I just can't see Cody losing the belt before WrestleMania. And we're already getting that build to Cody versus Rock at Mania 41. And I believe that will 100% be for the championship. And here's why. So the story started on Raw last week. That was when the first seed was planted, when The Rock asked to hold Cody's belt. Now, I did some research, and here's something that not a lot of people understood from that segment that was deemed awkward among many fans. Like, especially, I was in the building that night. They were chanting, "This is awkward," because it was awkward. It was a weird exchange. We were just confused. But there actually was a much deeper meaning to that exchange on Raw than most people remember. So during Rock's last WWE Championship reign in 2013, on an episode of Raw, a mustached Cody Rhodes stepped into the ring during a Rock promo, and The Rock had his belt, and he said, "I want to take a look at that title that for the next 13 years won't be synonymous with The Rock. It will be synonymous with Cody Rhodes." And although a young Cody Rhodes wasn't proven correct then, he never won the belt before leaving WWE in 2016. Now the roles are reversed 11 years later, and the American Nightmare is on top of the world. So looking back now at that segment after knowing that prior knowledge and what happened, the story makes a lot more sense. And that first seed was planted on Raw for the eventual match. And we even saw The Rock go to social media, I think either earlier today or last night, to even more build the match, saying like, "I'm coming back for you, Cody. I'm coming back for WrestleMania." So I really think that match is going to happen. I really think that match is going to have a belt as well. And think they're going to use that story of Cody and Rock on 2013 Monday Night Raw as a callback that will help main event WrestleMania 41. Overall, though, so yeah, that's why I definitely see Cody holding the belt for at least this year. And he'll do many great feuds. I don't even know who to start with, honestly. There's a lot of good contenders, but Cody, he'll put on great matches. He'll have great builds, but I do think he'll be victorious in all the pay-per-views and all the matches he does until WrestleMania. Now, I don't want him to hold the belt for like more than 2 years. I think maybe he loses it to like MJF and WWE, or maybe somebody like Gunther. Gunther definitely deserves that belt. And I do definitely think he'll hold it more than once. I do like that. I like when people have more than one reign and they're not as long than like one really, really long reign, unless it's like a generational run like Roman Reigns had. Like that was incredible, of course. But I do hope Cody maybe holds it, twice or three times. I think that'd be cool before he hangs the boots up. But that's personally how I see the reign going for Cody.
That is actually a fascinating insight as well that you said at the end there about, long reign versus multiple short ones. And I mean, let's be real about it. When you talk about the history books, unless you have, one of the longest reigns ever, like you said, Roman Reigns did, then in the history books, it'll go down as a one-time WWE champion. When, let's be real, like a 5-time WWE champion sounds way more impressive. So I very much do see that point.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm kind of glad we're getting long championship reigns again. And historically speaking in the business, it has worked when there's been, long title holders. But times change.
Yeah.
Maybe it is time, because also historically speaking, whenever there's a long reign, there's then a very short reign, a transitional champion, we call it, following it. And I don't think Cody's going to be that, but I do agree with you. I do think he's holding it going into next year's WrestleMania. But now let's move on, because I want to bring on you, Coby, because we have a question from @Unrealized Thought, who is asking us for our thoughts on Rossy's new promotion, Marigold. And in case you guys haven't seen it today, basically, the old Stardom, not owner, but he was like the face of the promotion. He was the president of the promotion, Rossy Ogawa, has basically left Stardom. He left them last month. They fired him. Tony Khan talked to Twitter. He was really, really happy about it, because allegedly he was the one who was holding the relationship or potential relationship between Stardom and All Elite Wrestling. Well, Rossy has left, and he said, well, if I'm leaving, the talent are coming with me. And multiple names, including Julia, have jumped over to this new promotion. Julia, we kind of presumed she was WWE bound. Maybe she still will be. Maybe this is going to be, some type of partner with WWE. Who knows? Of course, we saw her at the NXT event in the crowd at Stand and Deliver. But Rossy's new promotion, it's interesting. It's called Marigold. And I think we might just be about to see a Marigold versus Stardom feud in Japan. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think my money's on Stardom. What are your thoughts, Coby?
I think that's the telling part is, call us superstitious, call us conspiracy theory followers, it's very interesting that AEW is featuring a number of Stardom talent, AZM, Mina Sharakawa. I think that's the right name. Hopefully I didn't butcher it. But they're featuring Stardom talent, and that's pretty much as soon as Rossy Ogawa is out of the company. I think if there's any dots to connect, there are. But I find it interesting that a lot of people are going to go, can he do this? Can he succeed? Can his views on wrestling change the way it's being held in Japan? And I think they 100% can. We are seeing a lot of people from Stardom who have their contracts ending who are going, yeah, I believe we can build a new company with someone they very much respect. Rossy has respect from people in Japan. He has respect from people in WWE, mainly probably William Regal. He has photos with Piper Niven. He made the trip WrestleMania weekend. For business or not, he was there and he had people showing respect. He has great relationships with the people in Damage Control, like Io Sky, like Kairi Sane or Kairi Hojo. There's plenty of things to say, but it's also telling when he can poach, or however you want to call it. He grabbed a well, now former because it went vacant, but he grabbed a current champion of another company. And that was the AWG champion from Actress Girls. Hopefully I don't botch it, but that was Natsumi Sumikawa. She was a current champion and she is going to this company. That shows that Rose, I don't want to say Rossy has the influence, but Rossy has the connections, and there's a lot of people who trust this guy. He has a specific belief. If you want to view it that if you want to say he wants to make people look like superstars, and some of the stars have the big fancy coats, similar to like a Seth Rollins or something like that. They exist, and if he has a different philosophy than what Tony Khan thought of, that's probably why Tony Khan was mad. He's like, bye, you're leaving, get out of here. I want to work with these companies, because guess what? Bushiroad owns New Japan as well, and they own Stardom. He has a connection with Bushiroad, and I think that's I don't want to, like I said, if we're superstitious and we believe in conspiracy theories, I think Rossy did in fact have a role in Stardom's talent not working with Tony Khan. I do believe it. But I think this is telling, the fact that he's able to bring a lot of stars from other companies to a brand new promotion and restarting something. Not even restarting his vision, because he did sell the company of Stardom way before. He sold it to Bushiroad, and he was just kind of the acting president, and he lost power. This is now he has power back, and he has people believing in his vision. He has more power in the hands of Rossy Ogawa. And I like I said, or like you just said, my money's not on Stardom right now. I think they have the momentum with the people joining, and I think Stardom's kind of going to go downhill. We see them losing a lot of stars, and I think Marigold's going to gain a lot of momentum with the talent, with the high quality of wrestling they will provide. And I think that's what's going to happen in Japan. It's interesting. I'm excited. I wonder if there will be former faces or people that were in WWE or are in WWE that WWE could lend. They lent Charlie Dempsey for All Japan in the beginning of the year. Maybe we'll see some other appearances by other stars to help develop this promotion as they build a relationship. Because guess what? Rossy Ogawa's not going WWE bad like Tony Khan is over there. And that's essentially what he's saying. They're not making enemies. And WWE's gonna work with people if you're not if the red dot's not on your shoulder, on that forehead, WWE will
Could you
more
break
than
that?
likely negotiate.
Pardon? Sorry, pardon,
Did you say
Clark?
something, Clark?
Oh, I was singing a song, Crazy Brazy by the ASAP Mob.
Well,
Sorry, I forgot I was unmuted. That's my fault.
I just shoot something. I was like,
No, when you did the red
what?
dot reference, it just reminded me of a song. That's my fault.
But no, I mean, those are some great points, Coby, no doubt about it. And I do think you are right. It's interesting in his involvement. Did he potentially, hold possible relations between AEW and Stardom? I mean, based on Tony Khan's reaction, he certainly thinks that way. But at the end of the day, I, have really been praising over and over and over again in recent weeks and months. What's it called? Stardom, not Stardom. Oh my gosh, guys, this has thrown me off. I've really been praising in the latest, weeks and months, companies when they, properly give women's wrestling a time and properly showcase it. And I mean, Stardom did that. But hopefully now with competition between Marigold and Stardom, all it means is that women's wrestling gets even more of a spotlight on it. And I think that is a great thing because we know competition in wrestling makes both promotions involved better. It always does. But now let's move on to talk about the final topic of the day from School of Wrestling, who is asking, is Tony Khan becoming out of touch with the AEW fan base? Now, of course, this question comes after what's not been a great week for AEW, and that all began with that decision to release the CM Punk footage on Dynamite. AEW clearly very quickly realized they made a mistake. They removed it from basically anywhere. They've been giving copyright strikes to anybody who posts it. They want that footage to disappear. And I think it obviously won't. But I think that kind of shows that, hang on a second, they're not too happy with their decision. But Coby, I want to get you in first because I want to get your thoughts on this.
Oh, this is a tough scenario because we're looking at a company that had a lot of momentum. We sat here 2 months ago without a company that AEW did not have Kazuchika Okada, Mercedes Moné, and Will Ospreay. And now they do. They spent a month from Revolution on building momentum with these signings, building at least a better feel of, oh, we're actually going upwards now because the TV is getting better and we're getting high quality talent like Kazuchika Okada, Mercedes Moné, and Will Ospreay. The way I said this is it's 5 steps forward and 7 steps back. I felt like this releasing of the footage took a lot undid the progress of the last 2 months, month and a half, however you want to view it. I feel like it undid a lot of progress because this was Tony Khan being petty. CM Punk was able to speak his story on his behalf, however you want to view it. Did he call AEW a non-business or whatever, or they're in the wrong business? Yes, but it's not your job to bite into that. Tony Khan bit the apple. And Tony Khan said, yeah, I'll be petty. We'll put your name in my mouth. We'll have Adam Copeland cut a wrestling's better because of AEW promo, which doesn't make a lot of sense because it was Adam Copeland, someone who wasn't even there for the Punk issues. I don't know. It's a lot of scenarios where I don't know if I can sit here and say Tony Khan's out of touch, but I think he doesn't know when there might be a mistake that he could make. And in this case, I think he made it then. If we can say he wanted to build attention to Dynasty, it did not. If he wanted to release that footage to anticipate the upcoming pay-per-view, it did not do it. I'm looking at a show where that did not elevate any stories. That did not progress anything. Will Ospreay made some comments where keep in mind, Triple H never name dropped Will Ospreay. Triple H never said anything along those lines, and Will Ospreay's talking about him. You are biting into this pettiness apple, if you want to call it that, and I think that undid a lot of progress. And I think he couldn't recognize that was a mistake.
I think that is
mind your own business. That's exactly what you should be doing.
Exactly. No, I do agree with you on that one. I mean, you are right. Well, what Triple H said wasn't necessarily at Will Ospreay. If it was at Will Ospreay, I think the entire internet wrestling community unanimously agrees that, Triple H shouldn't have said that because Will Ospreay is not lazy. But
it was non-specific, right? It was a non-specific
He never name dropped. We can say he implied Will Ospreay.
A lot of
he never
people,
said it.
Well, a lot of people are thinking it's MJF. Clark, you've been speculating for a long time about MJF.
He's under something. I think he's under something. He's got to be under some sort of. MJF has to be under something to where this can't be
that's
MJF
what I mean.
Discussion.
I
think this can't be Triple H's talking about MJF. I don't think
perhaps he wanted MJF, and MJF signed a contract extension, and then Triple H found out afterwards, and he was shocked. He couldn't get his head around it. I think that is a very big possibility. But Josh, I want to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah. I know you said, you just said it actually. Competition makes both companies better. Well, at one point it did. 2019, 2020, 2021, AEW was booming, right? Now I don't know, because I think the competition has gotten too big to the point where it's gotten to Tony's head, and that's an issue. I think Tony, he replies to fan tweets. He tweets, he tweets about ratings. Any hate messages about AEW, that just seems like something Vince McMahon or Triple H would never do, because they're really professionals. And I'm not someone that likes to hate on people. I think Tony's has done incredible stuff with AEW. It's incredible how he's got it from the ground up. But, if you let the hate get to you, especially online, the haters are going to drag you down with you. And believe me, I'm on social media. There are a lot of haters. And I think Tony knows that WWE has them on the ropes, kind of with the consecutive sellouts and the enhanced ratings, media attention WWE is getting. And I feel like Tony is doing anything in his power to get people on his side, and it's just not working. And that's kind of what happened with this all-in footage. And I got to give with Coby here. You got Monet, Okada, Ospreay. You got some of the best talents in this entire industry. Congrats. Ratings may go up. Attendance may go up. This is great. AEW is on the rise again. Well, he released that all-in footage. And just like Coby said, he took more steps back than he took forward, and that's the issue. It did nothing for the company besides make them look weak, in my opinion. He got 3 victories in 3 new talents, but then he took that bite of that petty apple, just like Coby said. He thought, I'm going to show CM Punk who's boss now. And it failed. Him releasing the footage seemed to really be for me, okay, yeah, maybe he is out of touch. And he realized quickly that this isn't what the fans want for professional wrestling and for AEW. I think he can deliver high quality matches, but that's about it. I think personally it's time for Tony. I think Tony is a great business mind. I think that's something that AEW does really good at. So I think Tony, step back, focus on the business side. Let other people focus on creative. I think, I don't blame him. He's got a lot on his plate. When you're booking AEW, you're booking Dynamite, Rampage, Ring of Honor, pay-per-views, all the above. That's a lot on your plate. So I think you got to give some out. I think, hire some people to promote shows for you so you get the highest quality match, the best builds, the best promos, everything. I just think not give the whole company, don't get one guy promote, but give a bunch of bookers a chance to come together, book a great show, Ring of Honor, Dynamite, Rampage, and help try to rebuild AEW back to what it was in 2019, because it was great back then.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree, and I can see Clark is dying to talk. So, Clark, give me your thoughts on this.
The Rolling Stones said it best. You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you get what you need. And this is behind us now. It's over. He showed the footage. We all wanted to see it. I was curious, George, as anybody else. Everyone wanted to see it. Did it make him look good? No. But to address the actual question itself, which was, has he lost touch with the fan base? I don't think so, because a lot of the fan base wanted to see this footage. And the other thing is, you also have to imply that he fully was in touch with the fan base on the way to be able to lose touch in the first place. And I'm not trying to knock the question because it is a great question. Tony Khan felt like he had his fingertips on the pulse of pro wrestling for a stretch. There was no doubt about it. The booking was sublime out of the gates. Early AEW, like, we all are complimentary of that. No one has bad things to say about Brody Lee, about that era of AEW, right? It's one of those deals. And back to my Rolling Stones reference, sometimes you can't always get what you want, but if you try, you get what you need. I think AEW needed this. Take a step back. Whoops, a couple things, a couple swings and misses. So you can do some self-assessment. And now would be a good time for sure, because there's a lot of good things going in AEW. Swerve Strickland, Tony Storm, both excellent work. Hard to complain about week in and week out. A lot of good things on the roster. There's a lot of good stuff going on, and they're still on cable. They're still in good spots as far as time slots are concerned. Now's the time to look in the mirror and maybe just make a slight change, whatever that may be. But it's a good this is an opportunity to improve. And I have no issue with the underdog going after the big dogs. Have they been perfect? Absolutely not. But I'm going to keep rooting for them because I want good wrestling from AEW all the time. I want good wrestling and I want good content. And they've given me a lot. They've given us a lot as wrestling fans. So I think the best thing that came out of this silliness from showing the footage is that it's over now. We've all seen it. It's over. It's over. It's behind us.
Let's hope so. Let's
It's the
hope
past.
so. I mean, the only part, to be honest with you, that I disagree with you on there, Clark, to wrap things up, which I agree with, to be honest with you, 99% of what you said. Just you said everybody wanted to see it. I think everybody wanted to see it, 6 months ago. I think people have put it behind them. Part of the reason why people are wanting to see it again now, though, is Punk as well. But I think Khan did exactly what Punk wanted him to do in the end. But guys, it's been a great show. I'm so sorry for tech issues on my end if you have seen any. But thank you to Clark, Coby, and Josh for carrying me through this show. And we will be back tomorrow for the Raw review. And we will see you guys then. Please like, subscribe, comment on whatever platform you're on. We always appreciate all the comments we get. And we will see you tomorrow. Peace.